Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जयो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Last class we have seen the first part of 9th chapter, that is up to text number 12, 9.12. Today we'll be continuing to the further continuation. Let us take the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, Shri Radha Govinda and Shri Gaurnitai for starting our Bhakti Shastri class today. Shri Radha Govinda ki jai, Shri Gaurnitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This is lesson 4, the most confidential knowledge. It is also called as Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga. The most confidential because it is the knowledge by which one can perfect his life, or one can go back to Godhead. One can stop the cycle of birth and death, and one can achieve something which he has not achieved in this 84 lakh species of life. So that is why this is the Raja Guhya Yoga, which is the most confidential. And philosophical points of Raja Vidya verse is explained word by word, and Krishna's relationship with this material world is also seen. And Krishna's evaluation of those who deride him when he descends in human form, that is Avajananti Mamudha. When Krishna comes here, they think that Krishna is also one among us. Just like if the prime minister of the country goes to the jail, the people in the jail, the prisoners think that, oh, he is also a criminal like us only. But that is not the case. Krishna is coming to deliver us, and he is creating the pastimes so that the living entities may go back to Godhead. Krishna is giving a chance, opportunity. So this is unit 2, chapters 7 to 12. Today is the 5th lesson, that is 5th day under unit 2. It consists of 9.13 to 34. That is the end of the chapter. The first 3 verses will be talking about Raja Vidya, why this knowledge is called as Raja Vidya or Raja Guhya Yoga, and material world, the Krishna's relationship with the material world, and impersonalists are minimized, that is impersonal worship. This much is done. So today we will be continuing further. Mahatma. What is the real meaning of Mahatma? One who is worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the other 3 kinds of worshippers: one who doesn't worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly, Rather, they go to other methods of worships. So what is their position, and what destination do they get? That is the first topic today. Then demigod worship is minimized. Why one should not go for demigod worship for material gain. Then Ananya Bhakti Yoga, what is the real devotion means. So what is not to be done and what is to be done, that both are discussed in today's session. So beginning with the word Mahatma. Mahatma means it is especially used for the devotees. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritaha bhajanti ananya manaso jnatva bhutadim avyayam. Here, Daivi Prakriti is the spiritual energy of the Lord. The people who are devotees, they are directly under the control of this Daivi Prakriti. Now, O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Now, this word Mahatma is very important. We are calling many people as Mahatmas, but what is the real meaning of Mahatma? It is the devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The other people who are not devoted to Krishna, or those who are living in the material world and they are running after the sense gratificatory objects, they are under the control of material energy. And the modes under which they are acting will decide the activities that they perform. But as soon as a person comes under the control of Daivi Prakriti, or one who is trying to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead by performing devotional service under the spiritual master, under the guidance of spiritual master, he is called as Mahatma. He is also Ashritaha. He is also under the control, but it is not under the control of material energy, but it is under control of the Daivi Prakriti, or spiritual energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, in the life of devotees, there will be so many difficulties. So these difficulties and the difficulties which come in the life of non-devotees, they are not at the same level. The Pandavas have undergone so many kinds of difficulties, or Prahlad Maharaj, or many other devotees who have undergone so many difficulties. But even though they have so much difficulty in performing devotional service, it is not because of their papa karma or past impious activity. It is the Daivi Prakriti which is creating this performance, these pastimes for the devotees. The Pandavas, they are very pure devotees. They have not done any sinful activity. But still, they had to undergo so many problems, like the Bhima was poisoned and they were being killed, tried to kill in the house by putting fire, and they tried to insult Draupadi. So all these things, whatever happens for the devotees, it is because of the Daivi Prakriti. Now, these things are happening for the devotees under the guidance of Krishna. This Bhishmacharya tells this. Krishna, you are present personally in front of Pandavas, and still they have undergone so much of troubles. This is giving an example for others how to perform the devotional service. Even though with that much, so much of difficulty, even though there are so many impediments to perform Krishna consciousness, just like Prahlad Maharaj, whose father himself is trying to kill him, the only reason is he is chanting the holy name. There is no other reason. But still he continues. So by teaching the devotees, or by taking the example of these exalted devotees, Krishna is giving the examples for others. So in this way, the Mahatmas are always ready to take all kinds of trouble or all kinds of difficulties for the service of the Lord. And the Lord himself will give them all the expert knowledge and the skill which is needed for performing devotional service and to preach the knowledge of Krishna. Now, Srila Prabhupada's example we can take as a Mahatma. List the examples from Srila Prabhupada's life which reflect the qualities and behavior listed in 9.13 and 14. All of you please open the Bhagavad Gita book and take out the chapter number 9. The first one, that is 13th verse, says that Mahatma Anustamam Partha Daivi Prakriti Mashritaha Bhajanti Ananya Manaso Jnatva Bhutadim Avyayam. That is, the Mahatma or the devotee is always under the control of Daivi Prakriti, the spiritual energy. And what are the activities that they perform? Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. They are always chanting the holy name of the Lord. Yatantascha Dridhavrata. They are very determined in their activity or in the performance of devotional service. Namasyantascha Mam Bhaktya. They are always offering obeisances to the Lord. Nitya Yukta Upasate. They are continuously doing their devotional service without any break. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada's life, if you take, there are so many examples that we can understand how Srila Prabhupada has undergone all these difficulties in establishing this ISKCON Society for Krishna Consciousness, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and how was his childhood activities, how he was so much devoted to the Radha Govinda, and what are the different in whatever incidents that has happened in Srila Prabhupada's life. If you are aware of that, you can put forward one point to show that how Srila Prabhupada is under the control of or under this Prakriti, Daivi Prakriti. So list examples. So this is the question for all. You can think for a while, for 1 or 2 minutes, and those who are ready, they can raise their hand. The question is how Srila Prabhupada is under the control of Daivi Prakriti. Yes, Deepti Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I remember, I don't remember completely, but yes, I remember that he used to conduct the Jagannath Rath Puri Yatra during his childhood.
Yes.
So this is one of the major incidents. And not only that, when he went to the Western world to help eradicate and to spread the movement, Hare Krishna movement. So he really did not have much money. He used to even take the pages to the publishers because it was very costly, the printing pages.
Yeah.
And he did not even have so much of, not in the Western world, but in India. He used to travel to Delhi from Vrindavana on the same day back also, because he had to return, because he did not have any place to stay even in Delhi. And not only that, the publisher, he used to wait for him. He used to offer him food, prasada basically, because he knew he's not going to have anything. He's going to have only pure sattvic food. So he used to offer it there to the Lord, and then he used to have this. And this was because he really did not have much money to have even prasada. So, I mean, these are which shows his determination and his pure love for Godhead. So these are two incidents, Prabhuji, which I could remember just now. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah, Ratha Yatra in childhood and printing books. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Radha Vallabi Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
So I think Mataji just talked about the childhood and also when he grew up printing the books. Now, since he was in Vrindavan, he came to Vrindavan to fulfill his Guru Maharaj's uh, whatever his Guru Maharaj had told him.
Action. Yeah.
In Vrindavan, also he used to go to Delhi for printing the books. But it was not only that, he wanted to go to Western. So he was always thinking when he was in Vrindavan, he used to be in Radha Damodar temple and he used to either get a dream wherein Srila Rupa Goswami used to tell him that you have to go to Western world to preach this. So he was bent up on this that he has to go to the Western country to. He had a lot of difficulties in order because he did not have money. He did not have some sponsor to uh, fulfill whatever his spiritual master's dream was. But luckily, Mr. Agarwal in Vrindavan, his son was in US. He helped him to get the visa and an invitation for US. And then he had to go. Someone had to sponsor him in terms of the money. So Sumiti Morarji
Yes.
had a shipping cargo. So he went to Bombay, wherein and pleaded her that this is a very noble cause. If she could help to give him a space in his cargo to go to US, but she refused in the first place. That you are why she refused it. He's told him that you are like my father, and even if it is my father, I would not let him also go because you are so old, and US is not a very straightforward country. You will not know. You don't have a money. You don't have any acquaintance. So, but somehow he convinced him and he went in the Jaladut. And in the Jaladut, and that was also, I think he landed in US, but during the travel itself, he had 2 heart attacks. And during that period itself, he saw Krishna in his dream, where Krishna showed him that, don't worry, I am with you. Because he was so much devoted to Lord that during his, and while he got the heart attack, Krishna appeared in to him. And uh, it was the Janmashtami also when he was in the travel, and he prepared the prasadam and he distributed in the ship. It is the prasadam to the devotees. And when he reached US after 60 days, and when he came out in Boston and he wrote that poem, Lord, where have you brought me? And he says that you are just, uh, you know, uh, just help me, and then I'm like a puppet, and you now my string of my life is with you, and whatever you have decided, do with it. And what he had taken with him in his trunk, he had a trunk where he had taken some Srimad Bhagavatam and umbrella, and he had no one to receive him in US. But yes, he stayed with Mr. Agarwal for some time, where they helped him initially, and then he had a lot of struggles to set up the problem. But I let others also to speak. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Rakshita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah, so as Mataji told, he went to America and then stayed in Agarwal's house for some time. But although he was staying with the family there, he used to cook for himself separately. He would not eat what the family used to cook. And then when he was asked why, he used to tell, no, I eat only Vaishnava's food, and when Vaishnava's food is not there, I cook myself. And he used to cook all prasadam and not the America's food. He used to buy vegetables, dal, rice. He used to go personally out shop for himself, come cook, offer, and then not just eat alone, he used to give it to the family as well. So he used to serve Krishna prasadam. And going forward, he used to cook for large scale. Like after he moved from Agarwal's house, he went to New York, and then there he used to cook on large scale, serve every Sunday feast, 200, 300 people. He used to cook and serve. prasadam, because by giving Krishna prasadam, we can give Krishna bhakti to people. At least to eat prasadam, people would come, and that way he would add more people and spread the movement. And Also Jaladuta, she Mataji covered, and then he also had to share his room with a hippie, and so many times the that person would drink, smoke in front of Prabhupada. He would get drunk and come in front of Prabhupada, and Prabhupada would be sitting and translating Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and all. And then he had to bear all that. And that person, when obviously hippies, they do not have manners, right? Like when they drink, they will forget themselves, and he had to face all those, and he had to teach them, mold them, tame them as well, and carry on with his work as well. So multitasking. And one fine day he couldn't tolerate. He came out of the room. He left the room, and he didn't know where to go. He just walked all day long. He walked before he, found that place of matchless gifts. He had to walk all day, and in the sun, in the night, in the cold climate, he had to walk, and he was 70 plus. So he never bothered about what his age is. He never bothered about what his health condition is. So he was so determined and focused to serve the mission of Lord Chaitanya. And even after getting that matchless gift shop, he used to go to the park, sit and do kirtan every day. Why? Because a lot of people in America like music, so he used that strategy. And then he started doing kirtan in traffic signal. People used to stop their cars and listen to the Prabhupada's kirtan, and then they finally, some people, most of them out of inquisitiveness, used to go back to Prabhupada and then go attend his classes. And finally Prabhupada turned all that inquisitiveness into devotional service. And yes, Hare Krishna. There
Hare,
are more instances actually.
yeah. Okay, Mataji. Thank you. Madhuri Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Most of the points Mataji has said. I just wanted to say that he had 2 heart attacks and he had to leave away from his family because family was also not supportive. And he went to Western countries only with minimum things. And as his childhood was very good, he had no problems with food, shelter, and clothing, whatever the basic things. But apart from that, when he went to other countries, he had to face a lot of difficulties, survive with so many things just to complete his goal. And he had to go, approach different people for donations, and there he had to face so many difficulties. That's all, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sarita Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Most of them, they have explained about how he traveled and how he had heart attacks and how he had to stay with the hippies. But the main thing was that another one thing is that he was an Amani. He did not have that ego. He was not very, very proud of the things that he had so much knowledge, and that he used to always say that I am a fallen soul. He used to always say that I am. His humility was beyond par. And then he used to ask Lord to give him mercy so that he can go ahead and do the work. So humility and Amani, like he was not proud of his thing. And then he was equal to everyone. That if any person who would come to his shelter, he would always accept him and try his best to uplift that person. So there was a lot of compassion, to the extent that even those devotees or those people who used to come and sit for his kirtan or for his pravachan, he used to wash their dishes after that. And sometimes he used to be all alone. All of them used to go away. And one of them had once seen him that he's going to be left alone and with so much of dishes. So he stayed back to wash the dishes along with him. So that is where he was down to earth. And he was very quiet, shant. He was not a very aggressive person. His anger was under his control. And the magnanimity of his nature is beyond par. Because once he was giving a sermon somewhere, and there he asked one of the devotee, one of the person who was sitting, he was still not a devotee. He said, he just give me one question. He wanted to take an initiation. So he said, okay, just answer one question of mine, and then I will. Other people objected, no, he's not a regular one. You cannot give him initiation. So he asked him one question: who is the Lord of the universe, of the whole Brahman? He said, Lord Krishna. He said, yeah, you are fit enough to get the initiation. So he gave him the initiation there and then. So that is his merciful and magnanimity, which shows. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sureshwar Priya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am. Unmute yourself.
Most of the points have been told by all my colleagues, all my friends, and certain points I remember, like he is from a well-known family and wealthy family. He was doing a business, but at a point of time, his business took a back fit. So that time, earlier he was just slightly confused, but later he understood, when Lord Krishna comes more close to you, then he will test you maximum. So, and the most precious things will be taken by him. So this I heard it in a lecture. So Prabhupada took it very lightly. He said, this is God's mercy coming upon me. This is one point. And secondly, he never bothered to see why I'm going to the West to preach, because he was having so much of faith in his spiritual master. And he was ready to quit his household. And again, he just took up this big responsibility without a single person's help. And people were asking him, are you going to America? Then he said, I'm just accompanying Granth Maharaj, because he was having that Bhagavatam copy. So he was not telling that, no, I am going to America, but I'm just accompanying the Granth Maharaj. So Granth is supposed to be Lord Krishna himself. So he was just following Lord Krishna in the form of that Bhagavatam book, the Bhagavatam epic. This is what I'm remembering. And his humility took him to that end. And another thing, one more thing he said, he is going to preach to hippies. But there is one advantage he had it. If he is talking to somebody in India, here everybody is having little bit knowledge about something or the other thing, whether it is some Vedic principles, everybody is knowing. So they will have all argumentative power to argue that whatever you are saying is wrong. But there, people are totally ignorant, and it is easy to preach to them, totally ignorant people, and they will not question, and he could tell what he really wanted to convey. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, ma'am. Thank you. Muralidharan Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have noted a very few simple points, because you said make one point actually, but I'm listening to everybody making many, many points. One, he chanted the holy name. He made it a household important function of spirituality. He also lived a very simple life. He served and cooked food and made the prasadam himself. He wrote books, and he was a prolific writer who created many volumes and books to savor. And it is one of the biggest, his legacy that he has left to the universe. It will be enough for us to read for hundreds of years. He created the ISKCON. I think nobody covered this point. I think created the ISKCON in the USA and addressed initially the drug addicts, the hippies, the fallen souls, and brought them into spirituality. Last but not the least, he was also a person who followed the simple principles of fasting. He created, he is one of the unique persons I see where a householder turned into a devotee, into a sannyasi. He lived a sannyasi life after having been married also. He left all his worldly requirements. And he was born into an aristocratic family that indicates from our learning that he was a soul that was in continuation of his earlier service to the Lord, unalloyed service to the Lord. These are my points. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhupada has told that whenever the yogi is not able to complete his devotion in the previous life, he will continue in the next life. Yeah, and that purpose, Prabhupada says, I was very fortunate to take birth among the pure devotees. But another side, we can say that all pure devotees are already liberated. When they come here, they are only coming to liberate us. So both are valid points. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Uh,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, yeah, some of the points people have already covered. So I'll just try to say, like, yeah. So Prabhupada, like, before leaving India, he was not having any disciples. But then in the span of 10 years, he was able to make more than 10,000 disciples, which was not actually possible for any normal person. So, so he is a messenger of God, we can say in that way. Like, just with 40 rupees, he goes, and then 40 crore he made in a span of 10 years, and with the 108 temples. I mean, we can't even imagine like how a person can do that. So it's a blessing of Krishna, obviously. And then as a kid, when he was just a 5-year-old, he had his own Radha Krishna deities, and he used to do all the puja rituals that his father did. So at that age, usually the children will play with toys. So this is something special about Prabhupada, which Prabhupada used to do the deity worship at that such small age, and he had done the Rath Yatra also for 8 days. And the other one which Mataji covered, the factory got fire. So that time Prabhupada sees that as a blessing, because any other normal person would not think like that. So he may lose faith in God, but Prabhupada understood that this is plan of Krishna. Now Krishna wants me to completely dedicate my life, and so he dedicates his life. And when he goes to US, so he sees everybody, most of them are in mode of passion and ignorance. But Prabhupada made all of them like Brahmins. He took them to a stage of Brahmins, like he initiated those. So he never saw people on bodily platform. So that also shows that he was transcendental to 3 modes. And like initially when he went, he struggled, like he didn't have a proper place to live. He was living in a shed, like, and from there he started preaching Gita. So he used to cook for almost like 6 months he was struggled, and he was having a firm faith that the Krishna Prasad, the Prasad can change the people. And that's how he was able to make devotees all over the world. And one incident I remember, when Prabhupada was giving a lecture, one person who was very shabby and he was drunk or something. So he comes inside, and nobody wanted to get him. He used to, yeah, I mean, well, Prabhupada used to go for walk, also he used to observe, and that person catch hold of Prabhupada's leg. And one day he comes when he was giving lecture, and Prabhupada gives him to clean something. So Prabhupada, he used to see like what that person can do service to Krishna. Somehow he used to engage so that that soul could be purified. So he used to see that. And even when Mataji was very good in painting, so he used to made her do Krishna's painting and Jagannath and all that. And one more incident, Prabhuji, like in when he was going in flight, so one air hostess comes and like he was having a full sattvic food, and that air hostess was, I mean, because he was aged, she was taking a big care about him. And suddenly, when they were having some poha from the prasad, so she immediately grabbed from his plate. And after many years, when the other Prabhuji sees her in some other place, then she has already changed. Like she had become a Vaishnava by reading the Prabhupada books. And I think the prasad of this, we also had like how Narada Muni changed by eating prasad of the Vedantis, Bhakti Vedantis. So similarly, by having Prabhupada prasad, so that devotee, she also become a devotee. So, and also there was one instance where the disciples in West, they arranged for Prabhupada lecture. So they expected around 2,000 people, and unfortunately nobody turned. There was not a single other than Prabhupada disciples and Prabhupada. So Prabhupada still started the lecture. I mean, when they were asked, they said, "Why? It's okay. You are there, and there are like walls, and there are many. There will be many. Even the animals can get benefit, right? When it is heard. Like Prabhupada was never like Samasuk. What is that we say in Prabhuji? Shitoshna Dukha. I mean, equally. I mean, he used to take. He was not getting distracted at all. So this shows that he is above all this. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Karunamai Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So I also want to say one point about Srila. So Srila Prabhupada's fearlessness and bravery are outstanding, beyond compare. So fantastic. So Srila Prabhupada doesn't have fear, so he's very fearless. And there's so many incidents about that. His name is Abhay Charanavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So Abhay means without fear, and every day of his life, throughout his life, Srila Prabhupada was proving meaning of his name. And very famous instance, when he was 70 years old, he went to America, and however, nobody was waiting for him, but he went. And there's also one more instance when there was one building, and ghosts used to live in that building, and Srila Prabhupada wanted to purchase that building. And people request to him, no, ghosts living there, so better to avoid that. But Srila Prabhupada bought that building, and he went to that house and chanted Hare Krishna mantra, and the ghost went away. Nothing happened with Prabhupada, but ghost went away. So
Yes, we remember. Thank you, Prabhuji. You have given another dimension of Srila Prabhupada. He is very brave, and even though it was a ghostly haunted house, he purchased it very cheap price, and he went there and he chanted the holy name and delivered that ghost also, and he sanctified the house also and used it for Krishna service. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Netravati Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. First and foremost thing, Prabhupada's birth was prescribed, like already told. Mora Senadipati Bhakta is going to come, and he will deliver everyone. Like each and every corner of the world will be touched with Hari Nam Sankirtan. Prabhupada proved that, and like we were able to witness what Prabhupada has done. Second thing, whenever Prabhupada wrote purport, sometimes it used to be one line, sometimes it used to be a paragraph. When his disciples were asking why Prabhupada said, I am not writing. So it clearly shows that Prabhupada not writing it or giving its input. Prabhupada was getting the transcendental message. Number 3, whoever came in contact with Prabhupada, however fallen they were getting delivered. It is not easy for any normal ordinary person to do the same. And Prabhupada is still giving the association through his transcendental books, which is again shows Prabhupada was.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, all the points have been covered. I would just like to say that he was very humble and without any false pretense. Whatever he did in his spiritual life, he never took credit of anything which he did for the upliftment of the mankind, taking them towards the Godhead. He gave the entire credit to his Guru Maharaj, and he established GBC principles before leaving this abode and going back to Godhead, and established that if he would have wanted, like any selfish or other normal human being, that only I and my name would survive and I'll become, but he ensured that people have a proper order after his body leaves this material world, and he set a principle in order and everything in place so that it is followed, and there is a proper Guru Parampara disciplic succession where all the coming devotees for many thousands of years to come would have a proper association of a Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, and in that chain they all will be delivered to Godhead.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhupada has made the GBC, which is running still and which is taking care of this movement. Thank you. That was wonderful glorification of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Coming back to the session. So these all are the symptoms of a Mahatma. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivi prakriti mashritaha. The devotee of the Lord is always under the control of spiritual energy. The difficulties which come in the life of devotees, it is not like any other person who is a karmi. The karmi is suffering because of his own problems or his own wrongdoing or the karma or the impasse activities. But for the devotee, it is a Lord who is creating the pastime or for giving an example. The Lord is taking the considering or using the devotee as an instrument, just like you can take the example of Arjuna. Arjuna is bewildered by the illusory potency of the Lord, so that he will ask questions. And because Arjuna has asked the question, Krishna has given the answer to the entire humanity. So anybody who is in this kind of situation, they'll get the knowledge or they'll get the right direction so that everyone will be benefited. But the receiver is needed. Somebody has to receive the knowledge, and that receiving person should be qualified. Anybody cannot receive. Just like if you want to milk the cow, the calf is the receiving living entity. Otherwise, without the calf, the cow will not give the milk. Similarly, if the Lord has to speak Bhagavad Gita, then there should be a person like Arjuna, who is very much qualified, who is a pure devotee of the Lord. Bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasyam hi etad uttamam. I am telling you this Bhagavad Gita because you are the most dear devotee for me. And this is the most confidential knowledge, and it is to be given only to the devotees. So that's why Krishna is giving the knowledge. So the pure devotees are the one who brings the mercy of the Lord to this material world, and he is going to deliver everyone. We are not sure whether we'll go back to Godhead or not by our own endeavor or by our chanting or reading, our practice of Krishna consciousness, because we are so much flexible, or we are so much not very serious in our practice of devotional service. But by the mercy of the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, what happens? Srila Prabhupada has told anybody who is in this movement, who is following 4 regulatory principles and reading my books regularly, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra 16 rounds, they will go back to Godhead within this lifetime itself. So Srila Prabhupada has taken that responsibility of taking so many fallen souls back to Godhead. That is the mercy that Srila Prabhupada is showing us. And Prabhupada has made this ISKCON society in which the entire world can live as a family. Now we can see there are so many wars going on between so many countries, and within the country there are fighting between different states, and within the state there are fighting between different people. But Srila Prabhupada's time, he went around the world and he made the devotees around the world without seeing which country they belong or which religion they belong or which caste they belong. Never mind, whatever you may be, you take this Krishna consciousness and you become happy. He has not discriminated anyone. He he behaved as the president of the universe. Somewhere I heard this. He behaved just like the president of the universe. The whole world was, he has taken it as a family, and he has, without any discrimination, either Indian or American or China or Russia or whatever he may be, or Australia or whatever, wherever you may be, everyone is welcome. And Prithvi Chachayata Nagaradigama Sarvata Prachara Hoimaranama. Whole world, where whatever city is there, everywhere now we have now whenever we go to any place for yatra or any visit or any work, we just check whether nearby any ISKCON center is there, so that I can get some devotee association, I can get some prasadam, or I can get some place for staying, so that I don't have to mix with the karmis, or I don't have to eat anything other than prasadam. So everywhere Krishna is there, everywhere the ISKCON is there. So this is the contribution Srila Prabhupada has made. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Daivim Prakriti Mashritaha, he is always under the control of the Daivi Prakriti, the spiritual energy. Bhajanti Ananya Manaso, always thinking of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada told he never forgot Krishna anytime. Always he is remembering Krishna. Jnatva Bhutadim Avyayam. Satatam Kirtayantoma Yatantascha Dridavrataha. Nitya Yukta Upasate. Okay, any volunteers would like to read this? Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Mahatma, as described in the second verse of this chapter, not only is this devotional service easy, but it can be performed in a happy mood. One does not need to undergo any severe penance and austerity. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Right. Thank you, Mataji. So in this chapter itself, we have seen it is Sukham Kartum Avyayam. Anybody can start the chanting of the holy name, irrespective of the age or the whatever consideration may be there. No consideration is needed. Anybody can start the chanting of holy name, and they can begin the devotional service, whether rich or poor or man or woman or old or young or child. Never mind, just take this holy name and start chanting, and the chanting itself will give the energy to advance more and more. Anybody can do it in the happy mode. There is no penance or austerity which is to be performed as a prerequisite for doing this devotional service. Jayanti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
He can live this life in devotional service, guided by an expert spiritual master, and in any position, either as a householder or as a sannyasi or as a brahmachari, in any position and anywhere in the world, he can perform this devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus become actually Mahatma, a great soul. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you. Srila Prabhupada is telling anybody can come to the state of Mahatma. So Krishna is keeping the option open to all. So anybody can take to Krishna consciousness and they can also become Mahatma. When Prahlad Maharaj, he saw Narsimhadev when he killed the Hiranyakashipu. After killing, with the same hand, the Narsimhadev keeps his hand on the head of Prahlad Maharaj. At that point, Srila Prabhupada writes there, these blessings which are obtained by Prahlad Maharaj is available for everyone. Everyone can take these blessings of Narsimhadev or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we should not think that, oh, it is so difficult, I can't do it. No, I'm not doing it by my own effort, but by the mercy of the spiritual master, by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Definitely, we can also follow the footsteps of pure devotees, and we can advance in our Krishna consciousness. Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Anye, others. Now those who are directly worshipping the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, they have been described as Mahatma. And there are others worshippers, they cannot conceive of the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly on account of being less advanced.
Continue.
Therefore, they have been described here, Anye, others. So others, they worship the absolute truth in 3 different ways. Bhagavad Gita 9.15 to 18, New York, December 2, 1966.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is from 15 to 19, if you see here. Especially the 15th shloka. Jnana yajnena chapyanye yajanto mamupasate ekatvena pruthakwena bahuda vishwatomukham. So these 3 words, the second part of the 15th shloka, ekatvena pruthakwena bahuda vishwatomukham. These are the 3 kinds of other worshippers. The one who directly worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are considered as Mahatma, or they are pure devotees. Now, these 3 category, that is Ekatvena. Ekatvena means monist. Worship self as one with Lord. That means one who thinks that I am now fallen, and when I become advanced in spiritual life, I can also become God. Ekatvena. There is no difference between me and God. I'm going to merge with the Lord. And another one is Vishwatomukam. He is worshipping the universal form of the Lord. And Pruthakwena Bahuda, concord forms, that is demigod worship. Either he will concoct his own way of worship, he will create a new way of worship. People, those who have many followers, they start their own way of devotional service. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatriki Vidim Vina Aikantiki Harir Bhakti Utpata Eva Kalpate. If somebody is performing devotional service which is not recommended by Shruti, Smriti and Purana Vidhi, then it is Utpata. It is only a disturbance in the society. Utpata eva kalpate. But these people will concoct their own methods of worship and they will create problem in the society. And demigod worship, this we have discussed in many places. Those who worship the demigod, they are doing the worship in a wrong way and they are getting very cheap benefits, very quick benefits, which they are going to get. So these are the 3 points which we will be discussing in the further slides. Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
This I have already read, no? I will continue.
Is it same?
Yeah. Anya others, same thing. No?
Anya means others. No, I think it's different.
Okay.
That's different.
Okay, I'll continue. Hare Krishna. Anni, others. Anni means others. So they have not been given so much importance, although they have been accepted. They are also accepted because they have taken into the line. They are better than who are just like animals, simply eating, sleeping, and defending and mating. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 15 to 18, 9 chapter, New York, December 2nd, 1966. Hare Krishna.
So here, Srila Prabhupada is telling those who are not at all worshipping anyone and living like animals, better than them is these kind of worshippers. Either Ekatvena, Prutakwena Bahuda or Vishwatomukam, whatever you do, that is better than living like a atheist or living like an animal. Just you work hard and enjoy the senses. Instead of that, it is better to live like this. That is, either you can become a monist or you can worship the universal form or you can worship the demigods. They are also accepted. That means they are at the right line. They have taken to spirituality. But the problem is they don't know what it is exactly, or they have not met the devotee of the Lord yet, or they have not got the opportunity to do the devotional service. But there are very good chance that as soon as these people meet a pure devotee, when they meet a pure devotee, they will also come to Krishna consciousness. Or whenever they get the mercy of the Lord. Just like the 4 Kumaras, when they saw the beautiful form of the Lord, they also became devotees. Otherwise, before that, they were like impersonalist, or they were not directly into the devotional service of the Lord. In the same manner, when Shukadeva Goswami, he heard Srimad Bhagavatam, he understood the sweet pastimes of the Lord, and he described these pastimes to Parikshit Maharaj later on. So he also got the devotional line from his father, that is Vyasadeva. So in this way, these are examples. They all are exalted devotees. They have given the examples for us. Otherwise, they are actually devotees of the Lord. Now, when the impersonalist or the worshipper of this Vishwarupa or the worshipper of demigods, when they understand, when they get the real knowledge, when they realize what is the actual purpose of life, then they will also take to pure devotional service or pure devotional line, provided they are not offenders. So in this way, they can also come to Krishna consciousness. Demigod worship discussed in Bhagavad Gita in so many places. In the beginning of third chapter, 11th shloka, if you see, cooperation between men and demigod for prosperity will reign for all. So here Krishna is telling karma yoga by performing the activity for some higher purpose. Instead of simply engaging oneself in sense gratificatory activity, one can do the karma kanda. In the beginning, he says karma kanda, that is worshipping the demigods for material benefits. And then he explains, it continues with the karma yoga, where the person is performing the activity as a matter of duty without any expectation. So this is something Krishna has told to do. But later on, he says that men of small intelligence worship the demigods. In the beginning, he says, at least you come to karma yoga, or you just begin your devotional service. And later on says, actually, if you do this, you are not so intelligent. There is something better than that. That is Jnana Vijnana Yoga. This is coming under Karma Yoga section. That is first 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And when he says that demigod worship is low, or it is less than the pure devotional service, it is in the Bhakti Yoga section from 7 to 12. Which the chapter name is Jnana Vijnana Yoga, where you get the knowledge of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then in this present chapter, 23, he is saying worship in a wrong way. That means if you are worshipping the demigods, it is wrong. Why? Because the final benefit is coming from Krishna. Unless Krishna's sanction is there, no demigod can act. Actually, what happens, the Paramatma in the heart of the demigod will have to tell that demigod that this particular person is worshipping you. And what kind of benefit he has to give, the demigod has to give, it has to be sanctioned by Lord Shri Krishna. Otherwise, he cannot do. Just like we can't do anything without the sanction of Paramatma, demigods also are not independent. They are also depending on the Paramatma in their heart, the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Without his permission, they are not able to give. So why to go through these demigods who doesn't know what is really good for us, and who are just giving for some material pleasure, or just to mitigate certain difficulties, temporary problems in life? So it is better not to go there. The text you can see, E api anya devata bhakta yajanti shraddhayanvita te api mameva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. They are also worshipping me only. Demigod worshippers, even though they are worshipping demigod, they are worshipping Krishna only. But it is being done in a wrong way. It is in the wrong direction, because they don't know actually from where all these things are coming. Just like the son of a rich man. The son is disobedient to the father, and the son is suffering, and father is ready to help him, but the son is not ready to take the help. Then father will arrange someone whom the son will believe, or whom the son will accept, and through that person his father is giving him all the facility. So in this way, the demigods will act. By worshipping the demigod, the person learns to become humble, learns to obey, or he will understand that I am not the supreme and there is someone who is above me, who is the controller. So in that way, the person will learn to become humble. He will learn to obey. But actually, when these things are done for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is the right way of doing the activity. Now, Srila Prabhupada is giving some instances. Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Demigod worship minimized, 9.20 to 9.25. Worship demigods may be accepted if people know that these demigods are authorized agents of the Supreme Lord. There is acceptance of Supreme Lord. But those fools who do not accept the Supreme God and misunderstand that this particular type of demigod is all in all, oh, they are doing nonsense.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. So here, the demigod worship, we should understand what is allowed and what is not allowed. If we think that demigod is all in all, that is nonsense. Srila Prabhupada is saying that is wrong. But worshipping or the respect that we show to the demigods or to anyone, each and every living entity, we should show the respect. And demigods are authorized people for maintaining this material activities. So for that we should respect them, the activity that they are performing. But we should not think that demigod is everything. The demigod can do everything independently without the help of Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you think like that, that is wrong. Otherwise, the demigods are they are very respectable people, and they are punya jivi, or they are pious people. They are chosen by the Lord. Those posts, whatever we have, the Indra or Brahma or Prajapati, all these posts, they are very exalted posts. If somebody is taking that post, means they are exalted personalities. If nobody is there, if nobody is qualified to take up that kind of service, then Lord himself will come and he will take up that service. The Lord himself will take the post of the Indra if there is no qualified person to take that position. So we should understand what is the position of the demigod. They have achieved that position or that service to the Lord because of their hard work or because of their qualification, and Krishna has chosen them. For that we should respect them. But what is the warning here? Don't think that they are everything. Don't think that demigods can make you happy or they can take you back to Godhead. No, that is not possible. You can pray to the demigod or the worshipable deity in which you are having your family tradition to give Krishna Bhakti or to give the devotional service to the Lord. That is allowed. There is nothing wrong in it. But if you are thinking that just worship this demigod, I don't want anything else, that is wrong. Okay. Okay, Deepti Mataji, Hare Krishna. Please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Demigod worship minimized 9.20 to 25. They are placing so many competitors of the Supreme Lord. That is avidhi purvaka. That is illegal. Nobody can be competitor of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is known as Asam Urdhavaha. Nobody is greater than the Supreme Lord, and nobody is equal. Bhagavad Gita 9.2324, New York, December 10, 1966.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare.
Hare Krishna.
So nobody can be equal to Krishna. Nobody is greater than Krishna. Asama means nobody equal. Urdhva means nobody more than him. So this much we should understand. And if we worship the demigod, we will not achieve what we achieve if we worship Krishna. The result will be different. Kshine punya martyalokam vishanti. When we perform some pious activity, we will go to the heavenly planets. And when our pious credit is over, when it gets exhausted, then we have to come back here again. The example is given, the Ferris wheel. Go up and down, keep moving up and down. I earn certain amount of money and I go to some picnic or some tour and I'll spend money. And I cannot just go on spending there because I'm not earning now. So as soon as I finish all the money, I have to come back. And again, I have to work here and earn money and again go and spend there. So this is bhutva bhutva praliyate. Go up and down, keep moving, and there is no liberation, or there is no escaping from this cycle of birth and death. The person is caught there. This will happen as long as the person is interested in sense gratification. And if the person, if he continues to do this sense gratification, Krishna has made this arrangement. You can go on for eternity, but he will not come out of it. But what is the problem is, wherever you go, Abrahma Bhavana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. The birth, death, old age, disease is there everywhere. So these four things you cannot escape. Now somebody may say that I will accumulate a lot of pious credit in this life and I will enjoy in the next life. But the problem is you have to take birth there and you have to die in this life. So these things cannot be removed. It is like you have 10,000 rupees to get, and for getting that 10,000 rupees, you have to spend 50,000. Whatever amount of enjoyment that you may get by acting in getting the pious credit, to get the credit of that pious activity, you have to die. And again, you have to take birth. After going under the trouble of this birth and death, which is considered the most painful situation for any living entity, you will get certain result for your pious activity. So it is not very intelligent. That's why it's called the worshipping of the demigod, or accumulating pious credits and trying to enjoy it in the next life or going to heaven. These are not solving the real problem of life. The real problem of life is birth, death, old age, and disease. These four you have to take, and all other things will come as a token. If you have done some pious activity, something will come to you. But we should think in this very seriously. So yajanti avidhi purvakam, worship in a wrong way. Why wrong way? Because you will not become happy. Just like the child is asking the parents, I want ice cream, I want ice cream. Okay, you can take one ice cream and you can get satisfied. No, I want one more, I want one more. If you keep eating like that, then your stomach will be spoiled. Then parents say, no, don't eat like that. You will not become happy. So if you just concentrating only on pious credit and making some punya and going to Swarga or heaven and living there, Krishna is telling, no, it's a wrong way. Don't do this. Whatever endeavor you are doing to satisfy this demigod, you can achieve something higher than that if you do it in the right way, or if you use it in the devotional service. Devotional service is susukam kartuma vyayam. It is joyfully performed. But demigod worship is not so. If you want to do some yajna, if you ask the Purohita to come home, he will not start the yajna unless there is everything. If there is no, some sesame seed is not there, no, I can't start the yajna. Some oil is not there, I can't start the yajna. Or so many items of worship. If any one thing is missing, you cannot start the worship, because that demigod will not accept it. But Krishna, never mind. Wherever you are, you can chant. Whether you are traveling, you can chant the holy name. Whether you are well or you are not well, or you woke up late, still you can chant. And whatever situation you may be, you can go on. Krishna is like our mother. So it's like mother is tolerating all the activities of the child, and she will only see whatever positive things are there. Oh, my child is so great. He is done like this. Even though he has done so many 100 wrong things, that one right thing, whatever he has done, she will consider. Similarly, Krishna also, we might have done so many wrong things, so many nonsense in our so many lifetime. 84 lakh species of life, 8,400,000 species of life. But still, now you have come to human form of life. Atato Brahma Jijnasa. Now you start. At least now you start. He is giving another opportunity. So again and again, he is giving more and more opportunity. If we worship the demigods, it is like, if we worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is like pouring the water on the right place, that is in the root, or feeding the stomach. Or if you are worshipping the demigods, it is like bribing the officers and without going to the actual person, which is illegal. It's called bribing. If we take the example of Hiranyakashipu, he tried to worship Brahma and he wanted to become immortal. But since he has gone to demigod, he got destroyed. He did not get purified. But Dhruva Maharaj, he also went for the same reason. I want the kingdom. I want the kingdom bigger than my grandfather, that is Brahma. That means he is asking for another planet, which is more than Lord Brahma. But he worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he got purified. And when he got the darshan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he lost all the material desire. And again, he became immortal. He got all the kingdom. He became the king. He ruled the world. He got everything. And still he is present. He is still eternally present in the Dhruvaloka. The Lord has given a planet in his own name. And the whole material creation is revolving around it. That means his planet is the topmost. It is the highest Dhruva. The people who travel in the sea, they will identify this Dhruvaloka or the pole star. When they get that, they will understand whether in which place they are exactly. Just like we have in a mobile GPS. They will use this pole star as the GPS. So such a highest planetary system, the planet, is given to the devotee of the Lord. So whether you have material desire or you don't have material desire, or you have desire for liberation, whatever, akamo sarvakamo va mokshakamo udaradi, tivrena bhakti yogena pyajeta purusham param. You have to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead at any condition. That is the right way of doing the spiritual activity. Yeah, Muralidharan Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yanti deva vrata devan pitran yanti pitra vrata bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhyajino bhimam.
Yeah, read the translation.
Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship gods and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. Bhagavad Gita 9.25. Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So here Krishna is very specifically saying, don't think that by worshipping demigod you can achieve whatever you achieve by worshipping me. It is not possible. Everything is specific. You should decide where you want to go. You cannot book a train ticket to Delhi and you cannot expect to reach Chennai. You have to book properly. You should know what is your destination, what you want. If you want something and if you do something else, you will get that what you expected. You will not get the actual benefit. There are people certain, they say that you can worship anyone and you can get liberated. What is there? After all, everything is one. No, that is not possible because Krishna is a person. Unless a person is having the devotional service or the love for the Lord, the Krishna prema, he cannot enter the spiritual world. He cannot go to Vaikuntha. If somebody is very mischievous, just like the demons who are fortunate to be killed in the hands of Krishna, they will only stop their activity. They will only enter the Brahma Jyoti. And there is always a chance for falling down again. Only those who have loving devotional service to the Lord, they will enter the spiritual world. Because Krishna doesn't force anyone to go there. And Krishna don't want us to, after going there, if I say I want to go back. No, once I go there, no going back here. Yadgatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. You decide whether you want to come back or not. If you're not coming, if you're not willing to come here, or if you're not ready to come, no problem. I have made all the arrangements. You can stay here for as long as you want. So if you worship the Indra, you'll go to Swarga or heaven. And if you worship the ghost, you'll go to the ghostly planets. And in ghostly planet, you can't sleep there because they all are active in the night. And if you are worshipping the forefathers or ancestors, you can go to the planet of ancestors. Let us hear from Srila Prabhupada. Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna says, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. How you nonsense say that everyone goes to God. This is nonsense. You can go to Indra, you can go. There are so many planets and you will go there. And that is reasonable. And how do you say that whatever ticket I purchase, I go to this Delhi evening Darshana, December 3rd, 1976, Hyderabad. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. One of the greatest benefit reading Srila Prabhupada books is he will give very realistic examples. The Vedas or Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam will say something, but that point or that concept, he will explain it by using the day-to-day life. Or just like, see here, it is told Indra planet and planet of the ghost or ancestors. He is telling easily the Delhi, Chennai, Bombay, by giving so easy examples so that anybody can understand what it is being explained there. So that is the greatest benefit of reading Srila Prabhupada's books. Okay, here is the activity now. These are the shlokas. Okay, anybody wants break? I'm sorry, I'm very stingy now to give the break. I have to finish the session. Yeah, please take the break if you would like to take. Along with this, you can take. So there are 6 groups we'll be making now. What is to be done here? Draw images illustrating the principles of pure devotional service. Draw the images which illustrates principles of pure devotional service. You can take the help of those shloka. Sanskrit words, phrases you can use. You can take the statements of Srila Prabhupada's purports, analogies, and the examples which he has given. So these are the groups you can note down. 22 to 26. This is speaking about how Krishna is directly taking care of the devotees, and also speaks about the demigod worship. 27, 28, another group. And 29, where Krishna is equal to all. 30, 31, anybody can take to Krishna consciousness. 32, 33. So the devotional service is open to all. And finally, 34, the final instruction of Bhagavad Gita, which is repeated 2 times in Bhagavad Gita, the final lesson. So these are the shlokas. Any questions, any doubts in present activity? They can raise their hands. Yeah, Sarita Mataji.
Prabhuji, the group names you didn't tell which shloka is for which group name.
You can take this in this order only. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Okay.
Wherever you join, no, there you can consider that shloka.
Okay. Hare
Krishna. Okay, you get how much time? I'll give 4 minutes. 4 minutes for drawing and 2 minutes for presentation. Because that itself will take a lot of time. The time starts now. Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. Welcome back. So there must be 6 teams now. One person from each team can raise their hand. They can show the picture, the drawing, and they can explain. Yeah, Deepti Mataji, you can start.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Madhuri Mataji will be presenting the picture on our behalf from the group.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Madhuri Mataji, you can raise your hand. Okay. Yeah. Nice Krishna's photo.
Very beautiful, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, start.
So Prabhuji, thank you, Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, we have received verse number 27 and 28, and which is basically mentioning about that we should perform everything, we should do everything as an offering to the Lord, Shri Krishna. So Mataji, would you like to explain the picture? Okay.
I'll unmute her.
Okay, sure, Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, if we pick up a few important words from the shlokas, so whenever, whatever we do, whatever we eat, yat karoshi, whatever we do, whatever we eat, yat ashnasi, yat yuhoshi, whatever we offer, or whatever austerities we perform, we should do it only for the offering of the Lord. Because when we do so, we are liberated. When we do so, how we are liberated? We are freed from the bondage of work, because there are certain whatever reactions we'll be getting out of that particular activity, we will be freed from the reaction of that work, whether it is good or bad. Because if we do any good activity, again we have to come back to get the merit of that particular activity, and in case if we do bad, then again we have to come back to this particular world to face that. So the point is, if we fix our mind on the Lord, and this is basically the principle of renunciation, wherein we are trying to live a yukta vairagya life. We are performing all the actions of the activities, but we are offering it to the Lord. So in this way, we are being in this world only. We are basically staying in a life of yukta vairagya, and we are doing everything for the Lord. We are constantly chanting His name. Any kind of religious activity if we are doing, we should offer it to the Lord. Any charities if we are doing, any donations. So this has been explained here in the diagram. And if we do so, how we are liberated? It is not only that we are liberated, but the best part is we will be able to achieve Goloka. That is Mam Upasyasi. The Lord confirms that He comes to me. So we are completely freed from this Dukhalayam Ashashwatam world, which we know it is full of material miseries of Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. So this confirmation, this confidence is given to us, has been provided to us. So this can be further explained with the help of this diagram, this picture, Prabhuji. So Madhuri Mataji, would you like to showcase this? Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji, this is what I have shown. As you said, the chanting beats and always doing the work, keeping Krishna in mind.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, whatever you have explained it, Mataji, everything is, and this is Yukta Vairagya, and with that we'll go to Goloka.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. So we are always thinking of the Lord in our mind, in doing Krishna conscious activities, trying to be in Yukta Vairagya with the Lord, and ultimately we are able to achieve Goloka. Wherein in one of the verses, the Lord says, Tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti suarjuna. So this has been clearly, we try to explain it here.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Very nice. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This is Shri Priya.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, would request you to unmute Sureshwari Mataji also.
Yeah, please raise your hand. You can unmute your video.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you see the picture?
No, Mataji. The background. Background has to be removed.
Not with the background.
Mataji, your background has to be removed.
Okay, now how to remove? I don't know.
Go to video setting.
Sorry, I'm very sorry.
That video icon is there, no? Above that small arrow upward, open it. Video setting.
Nothing is possible, Prabhuji.
Left
No,
of the screen.
you just
Stop
change
video
it.
is
Go to
there.
none. Go to none. First option. Background and effects. First option. Go to none.
None. Okay.
Yes. Done.
Visible, Mataji.
So this
Yeah.
is the picture.
Hold steadily for some time.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The verse given to us is 9.30 and 31. And we have taken the example of Ajamila. Ajamila was actually born in a Brahmin family. And later on, because of the bad association, he was into all of the abominable actions. And subsequently, at the time when he was in the deathbed, Yamadutas had already arrived. But somehow he happened to call his last son Narayana. And it so happened that the last moment when he uttered the word Narayana, the Vishnudutas arrived and he was saved. So he is not a pious soul at that point of time, but by chanting Harinam, he was saved. So even the Narsimha Puran states that even if sometimes it is found that you are into abominable activities, these activities which at the last moment were considered, and the Vishnudutas came there. The spots, it is an analogy given here in the purport that the spots that resemble the mark of the rabbit on the moon. So sometimes it is been you've been given a chance kind of thing that the Lord considers the devotional service done at the last moment. And 9.31, Krishna says that my devotee will never perish. By taking his name, Krishna takes care of all of us. He tells Arjuna that it is a guarantee from my side, people who chant my name will never be left alone. And whatever, by taking his name, whatever sinful or contaminations are there will be washed away. So these are the 2 points we wanted to clear. And one more word is sudurachara. That means that one is committing an abominable action. That is very apt in the case of Ajamila. So we have taken that example. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Mata.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jayan.
Krishna.
Yeah, yes, Mata.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You were asking for some Sanskrit words also. I have noted even that. Ananya Bhak, that is without deviation. Then again, Mandhavya to be considered. And again in the next sloka, that is this one. Dharma Atma, that is righteous. Then again, lasting peace. That is Shashwadam Shantim. Then again, Nigachadi, he attains. That is Praditnyahi, that is you declare. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that you can declare that my devotee will never perish. So he is giving us the assurance or the guarantee. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mata.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Jayanti Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. We are three, Pradosh Prabhuji and Sarita Mataji in our team. I have drawn the picture and Pradoshji will also explain Prabhuji. Now you can see the picture. God is giving, coming as a rain. He is giving his mercy as a rain. When it is coming to the field, they are and it is wasted in the sea water. But human, no, many of us are using that water, rainwater for their needed purpose. Likewise, devotional service is open to all. We can all use that. However we want, we can take that and we can use it.
Yes.
Either fruits or we can waste also. We can use for our human to move to the next level of our human life also. It is our choice only. He is giving the choice and he is giving his mercy and blessings to all at the same. Pradoshi will guide for the Sanskrit terms and all, Prabhuji.
Please unmute your video, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Some network issue, Prabhuji. So low bandwidth going on. I am on 2 devices, so that Prabhuji, I am audible, na?
Yeah, you can mute one of them.
Yes, Prabhuji. And the other one I will share about the 33, but here about 32 will conclude first. Jayanti Mataji
You
has
have
to
to
be.
mute one of them. Otherwise, it will create a lot of problem.
Prabhuji, the other device is mute. Am I getting echo at my
Yeah,
end?
there is. Mute in the sense both you have to mute microphone and speaker.
Okay, Prabhuji, I am just putting my video for the other device.
Now, you have to mute speaker as well as mic both. If one of them is on, then all it will not take. It will create noise. Or else you come out of one of the devices. See in the audio, you have to stop the audio device microphone. Okay. Hold it little away.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, now it's fine.
Second one, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji, about the 33. Is this visible, Prabhuji?
Yeah, yes. Dukhalayam. Okay.
I'm sharing the picture first, then I will disconnect. Here we have put two things. One is about Dukhalaya and another is about the person who are into Krishna consciousness. Although the world is miserable and temporary, I am sharing this. Then I will take it to the. Okay, I am closing this.
Okay.
Now, one second. Now coming to 33, really sad for the inconvenience. Okay, Prabhuji, about 33, what I have said, the picture, be it Brahmana or be it saintly kings or whoever, even Arjuna is also born into a royal family. But the Lord ultimately says, okay, unless and until you are into Krishna consciousness, it's always kind of the world you will feel miserable things. And the Sanskrit word what we have mentioned, and I thought it's important to mention is anityam asukam lokam. Anityam, which is temporary, not nityam. Although some Mayavadi say it is false, but it's not about the falseness. We normally call it as a temporary. Asukam is full of misery. The world is miserable here, but there is a other world also which is eternal and blissful. So ultimately we need to go back to the Godhead, which is always blissful and eternal. And the another word which is quite important I thought to mention is lokam, the planet. There are different planets. What we are here is Dukhalaya, we normally call, because this is full of miseries and this is temporary. So it is mentioned, these are the few important Sanskrit words what we have mentioned, and from the purport what we have extracted is, although this world is temporary, but there is another world also which is quite eternal and blissful. And what it mentioned, be it Brahmanas or saintly kings, even taking the example of Arjuna also, who is born into a saintly royal family, to him also Lord has said, okay, we need to quickly go back to Godhead, which is our ultimate home. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Sarita Mataji, if you want to add, you may add something along with Jayanti Mataji and me. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. All glories to Sri Prabhupada.
Yeah, Sarita Mataji, it is which Sarita Mataji? Sarita Kapoor Mataji? Yeah, please unmute yourself, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I'm not the one. He's asking another Sarita Mataji. For me, I'm in a different group, Prabhuji.
Okay, Mataji. Please raise your hand, Mataji. Sarita Mataji. Yeah.
No, Prabhuji, I think he has covered everything.
Okay.
Yeah, Prabhuji has covered it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Rakshita Mataji, you can continue.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Karuna, my Prabhuji, will be showing the picture.
Okay.
Yeah, so the shloka is Manmanabhava Madbhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru. So Krishna is clearly saying here, engage your mind in thinking of me all the time. So it is of me, of Krishna all the time, offering obeisances to him. And then when we completely get absorbed in him, we can surely go to him. So we need to engage our mind, always think about him in this contaminated world. So in the picture it is seen, this is a devotee thinking about Krishna all the time in his mind, even in this contaminated world. So we've showed this contaminated world with that TV and music system and all that. And then if he continues to think about Krishna all the time, then he can go back to Krishna. So liberation is shown in the form of an arrow mark, and he will be going back to Krishna. Okay, so here the presentation explanation is very simple. Prabhupada has written it in a very simple way. Krishna consciousness is the essence. So we need to, our consciousness should be turned towards Krishna all the time, even in this contaminated world. By how do we do that? By offering, we have the 9 processes of devotional service for that. And we can offer our obeisances to him. Also in the previous shloka, Krishna says, in other shloka of this chapter, namasyantascha mam bhaktya. So in devotion, we have to offer obeisances, and in every place Krishna is making it clear to him, not only to Krishna, not to some demigod or not to our own selves. It is to Krishna because he is the supreme personality of Godhead. And there are demons also who think of Krishna, like Kamsa and all that, but that will not help us in any way. Because when we think about Krishna in an envious way, the maximum benefit we get is we go merge in the Brahmajyoti. We don't enter the, we don't get entrance into the confidential planet of the Lord, that is Goloka. So we have to think about Krishna out of devotional love. It is called anukulasya, right? Favorably we have to think about the Lord, and then we can attain the result. And we always have to do this under the guidance of a teacher, spiritual master, so that we will not fall down. And Krishna also says janma karma cha me divyam. So Krishna's pastimes are transcendental, his birth is transcendental. So we can engage our mind thinking about these pastimes of the Lord. That in itself is enough to think about the Lord, and all the time, every time, like always. And uh, yeah, so for this purpose, Prabhupada encourages to build temples and all that, so that constantly, consistently, we can, engage ourselves and others in devotional service. And Radha Vallabhi Mataji, do you want to add anything?
I think you have already covered. So just concluding it with 3 points which are key here. Man mana, think always of me. Mat bhakto, become my devotee. Mat yaji, worship me, and offer obeisances to me. So that is why we say that this is a conclusion of it. Become my bhakta, always think of me, and that is how you become. Chant. We talk about 9 devotional services. So chanting and hearing, they are the key to lead us to the Krishna consciousness. That's all. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Sarita Kapoor Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Not too good at drawing, but just please ask for pardon before anybody laughs at it.
No,
So, Prabhuji, we have 5 shlokas, 22 to 26 actually. So the 22 says that all the time, this is where he's showing that all the time, if your brain, inside the brain, there's a brain here, it's always thinking about Krishna. And if you, I'm sorry if I'm unstable. This is, if you're always thinking about Krishna, that is the time that you will get a lot of blessings and direct visa to the Vaikuntha or the Krishna Loka. So this is trying to tell that they can achieve me only by the unalloyed devotional service and by always thinking about me. That is not that only once we sit in the morning, we do one long prayer and then finish it off. No, the brain has to be always involved. There's a center in the brain where the memory is there. That memory should always be occupied with Krishna's memory. So that center has to be very active for us. Now, this is the 22, 23. Then he says that there are people who will be praying to Varun, to the sun god, to moon god, to Varun, to Indra, and they will achieve me. The Krishna will again still be in the center. Krishna will again be in the center, but they are doing in a wrong manner, and it is a wrong way to go. But still, they are indirectly praying to Krishna only. But the method or the procedure is not the correct one, what they want, because probably. And then whoever you will pray, you will go to that loka, you are in the bhuloka, and then the upper planets or the down planets, the bharv loka, the tapa loka, or to the pata, till the patal loka, you can go. Any of the lokas, you will go according to what you pray for. then they say that it is like praying to Krishna is just like giving a water to the root of the tree, and so that the tree flourishes. You do not have to give the water to the leaves and the branches and other trees, and that's why they say that Krishna is it's represented by a Sanskrit word Shema. That's he's merciful. He's all merciful. Even if you pray to others, he gives the mercy. But then he can give to beyond a limit. He cannot give. He cannot call you to his home unless you are really interested to enter his home. If you want to enter the home of the others, then he will allow you to go. It's just like giving a food to the stomach. The stomach, from here, all the absorption actually takes place, and then it goes to the intestines. So the stomach is actually you give the food to the stomach. Once the stomach's full, all the intestines will then get the food to absorb. So Krishna, when you pray to Krishna, it is as though you're feeding the main source of the energy source of the body. So that will be absorbing. And finally, he says that if you offer me, his prayer is, he says, he's very merciful. And if you offer him patram pushpam phalam toyam yema bhakti prashyati tataham bhakti pratam ashnami priyatatmana. So he says that if you give me even a small leaf or a flower or a water, I am satisfied even with that. But the main thing is the bhava behind it. The bhav should be full of devotion. Bhav should be that you are offering with all the obeisances to the Lord. So he is so merciful, and he's so pardoning for us, that even a small worship is enough for us to achieve him. But it should be done from the core of the heart, with the full brain and the heart both involved into it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Netravati Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhuji, 9.29, first Krishna says that is equal to all, envies no one, and partial to no one, like a cloud is pouring out the rain to everyone, whether it is a rock, land, or water, for devotees and non-devotees as well. But in second part of the same verse, Krishna says that he's going to reciprocate. Yeah, it's got the transcendental reciprocation, and the words use the mayeti in me. Whoever is fixed in Krishna consciousness, and one who is surrendering to Krishna, equally Krishna will reciprocate in the same proportionality. How exactly? Whoever is living entity, when comes in contact with Krishna, is becoming a gold. So, and Krishna is a diamond. Both are getting glorified, even though both are eternally glitterful. Whoever is coming in contact with Krishna, then they are going to become a gold. And second analogy given is the Lord is like desire tree, is very generous. He will supply whatever our desire is. So it is based on our desire, Krishna is supplying. So it's not partial to anyone, rather is just having a transcendental reciprocation to the devotees, just like a friend does. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Very nicely explained. Hare Krishna. Mataji, is there anybody like to do kirtan now? Short kirtan?
Deepti Mataji was ready, Prabhu.
Yeah, please, Mataji, you can.
Hare Krishna. Sarvapana. Mataji, could you please share the screen? I can start in the meantime. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sansare dava nalali dhaloka tranaya karunya ghana ghana tvam praptasya kalyan gunarnavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Mahaprabhu ki Tanrita Gita Vaditramadyan Manasodasena Romancha Kampa Shrutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Vigraharadhanityanana Shringara Tanmandir Marjanadau Yuktasya Bhaktam Shaniyunjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavad Prasadam स्वाद्वन्नते तान् हरिभक्त सङ्घा कृतेवते तिं भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् श्रीराधिका माधवयोरपार माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनाम्ना प्रतीक्षणा स्वादनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् निकुञ्जयूनो रतिकेलिसेतै यायालिभिर्युक्तेरपेक्षणीया तत्तातिदाक्ष्यादतिवल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् साक्षाद्धरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव सद्धि किन्तु प्रभोर्यः प्रिया एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादानागति कुतोऽपि यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादानागति कुतोऽपि ध्यायन्तु वं तस्य यशस्त्रिसन्ध्यम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् संसारदावानललीढलोकम् प्राणाय कारुण्ये घनाघनात्मं प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणानवस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय जय श्री गौरनिताई जी की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद जी की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।
Yeah, we have come to the conclusion of this session. So what are the things we have discussed now? 9.22 is speaking about Ananyas Chintayanto Mam, one who is thinking of Lord Krishna. Ye jana paripasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamiham. That devotee, whatever he lacks, I will give him, and whatever he is having, I will protect it. This is the promise that Lord Krishna is telling, and he is telling that, Mom, I will take care. It is the direct care that devotee is getting from Lord Krishna. He is not under the control of any demigod. Krishna is not just arranging for his living or for his care. Krishna is just like the parents take care of the children. Krishna is directly taking care of the devotees. Then ye api anya devata bhakta, but if you are worshipping some other demigod, you are also worshipping me only, but it is a indirect manner which is not recommended. Then continuing further, ahami sarva yajnanam bhokta prabhurevacha. Why it is so? Because Krishna is the enjoyer. Even though if you are performing yajna, the offering whatever you give, it is finally going to reach Krishna himself. Natumam abhijananti tatvenataschavantite. Then finally, next Krishna explains how a person goes to different planetary systems. Yanti devavrata devan. If you worship demigods, you go to demigod loka and pitru loka or bhuta loka. But similarly, if you worship me, you will come to me. That is the what Krishna is explaining here. And in the 26th text, Krishna is telling anybody can do this devotional service. It is not at all difficult. If you offer one patra, that is leaf or flower, water or fruit, anything you can give me. But the point is, bhaktya prayachati. Yome bhaktya prayachati. The devotion should be there. Krishna is not hungry. You should offer it by devotion. If you are not having the devotion, then Krishna may not accept it. You may be offering a flower, but Krishna is accepting your devotion through that flower. Just like if some guest comes to your house, you offer them something to eat, or you offer them some flower. That guest is accepting your hospitality or the love that we show. It is not that the person was hungry and he came for eating or like that. It is not so. The person is accepting through whatever you are giving. Through that, the love, the respect that you are showing, he is accepting it. So bhakti is most important. But the next text says that if you don't have this bhakti, then can you continue devotional service? That is the question now. Krishna told, okay, you can offer me water, but bhakti should be there. But somebody say, Krishna, I don't have bhakti. Then what shall I do? How can I offer you patram pushpam phalam toyam? Okay, then Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you perform, you do it as a offering to me. Yattapasasi kaunteya tatkurusha madarpanam. There is no word bhakti here. This is another step down here. Krishna is explaining. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhoshi dadasi yat yattapasasi kaunteya tatkurusha madarpanam. Those who are not able to offer something to Krishna with devotion, with bhakti, they can offer even with, if you don't have bhakti, never mind. You will develop bhakti later on. You start offering. You start your process of devotional service. Continuing further, Shubha Shubha Falairevam Mokshase Karma Bandhanai Sannyasa Yoga Yukta Atma Vimukta Mami Paisasi. In this way, the person will Karma Bandhana, the bondage of the karma, the reactions will be removed. And Krishna is very clearly telling that this is open to all. I'm not telling that somebody can do it and somebody else is not. Krishna is not partial. Anybody can take to Krishna consciousness. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. Na me dveshyosti na priyaha. I have no enmity to anybody. And I am not showing any special favor for anybody. Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya. But once you come to the Krishna consciousness, or once you choose to do devotional service, then you will become very dear to me. For Krishna, Krishna is showing, he is very impartial in showing the impartiality. Krishna is very much impartial in showing his partiality towards the devotees. What does it mean? He is not partial to take somebody as his devotee. But he is very partial once somebody comes as his devotee. So for Krishna's devotee, he is very partial. He will take the personal care for him. But to become the devotee, it is open to all. So this we must understand. The sama means how it is sama or how it is equal. The devotional service is open to all. But whoever takes to devotional service, they'll get the special care from Krishna. Now someone may ask another question. Krishna, I am so fallen. I am not able to take to your devotional service. Then Krishna says, Apichetsu durachar, you may be the most fallen. You might have done so much of sinful activity, just like the Mataji gave the example of Ajamila. Somebody like Ajamila, he can also take to Krishna consciousness. And it is not, I'm not telling this. It is, he's telling Arjuna to declare this. Apichetsu sudachara bhajate mamanyarnebar. Sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. That means the path which he has taken, it is right. The destination is correct. Even though he might be very lowest stage of devotional service now. Still some anartha is going on. Still he is not very confident about his devotional service. But still you should continue. So that one day you will become perfect. And Krishna is guaranteeing that he will definitely come to Krishna consciousness. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Very soon he will be delivered. And Shashwat Chanti Nigachati. He will come to that position. Kaunteya pratijanihi. Krishna is telling Arjuna, you should declare this, because Krishna, if he declares something, he may fail, or for the devotee's pleasure, Krishna will break his own words. But if his devotee gives some words to someone, Krishna will protect it. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you declare that my devotee will never perish. The devotee of demigod, actually demigod, you can't say it as devotee, the worshipper of the demigod, they may be perished. There are many examples. But Krishna, whoever comes to Krishna, they will never perish. Life after life, Krishna will give them the opportunity to serve. Now, next coming to the point. Mami partha vyapashritya epsyu papayonaya striya vaishyas tata shudra tepi yanti paramgatim. Here we should understand what context Krishna is speaking. He has told in the earlier shloka, a person may be very fallen, he will come to Krishna consciousness. Now he is giving some examples. A person who is very much fallen, or one who is not at all able to do any devotional service, still he can come to Krishna consciousness, and he can take to the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then what is there to talk about other people who are already advanced? Kim punar brahmana punya, one who is pious, bhakta rajarshayo vidaha, rajarstata, anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. They will also take to this devotion service. So irrespective of a pious person or an impious person, or anybody can take to Krishna consciousness. Now finally Krishna is telling how to take Krishna consciousness. He gives 4 principles here. Manmana, bhavamad bhakto, madhyaji, mam namaskuru. These are the 4 things to do. So after telling all these things, if you come to me, I'll take care of you. Anybody can come to me. Whatever sinful activity you have done, still you can come. So after giving all this explanation, he is now telling what is actually to be done is manmana, always think of me. Because Krishna's name, Krishna's pastimes, all are same. It's all absolute. So thinking of Krishna means we have Krishna with us. Bhavamad bhakto, become devotee of Krishna. Becoming devotee means you should lead a life which is pleasing to Krishna. Devotee or bhakti means to please someone. Bhavamad bhakto. Madhyaji, always worship Krishna. And mam namaskuru, always pay obeisances to Krishna. So this is how one can begin and one can advance in his spiritual life. Mame vaishasyaktva evam atmanam matparayanaha. So this is the Ananya Bhakti Yoga. Any volunteers, please? Those who are not raised their hand till now, they'll get the chance. I know many people have muted their audio, video, everything. Please raise their hands. Harini Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Simply go and preach this very thing. Krishna says, Man mana bhava mad bhakto man yaji mam namaskuru. This is Krishna's desire. Preach to the world. Just be Krishna conscious. Man mana, just become Krishna's devotee.
Continue.
Man mana bhava man bhakto man yaji. Just worship Krishna. Mad yaji mam, just offer your obeisances to Krishna. 4 words. When you become a preacher. It is not very difficult to become a preacher and to become a spiritual master.
Thank you, Mataji.
Shri
Prabhupada ki jai. Yeah, with this we have come to the conclusion of today's session. What we have done is Rajavidya, the first 3 texts speaks about the importance of Rajavidya. Then Krishna's relationship with the material world. Then Krishna minimizes the impersonalism that is done in the last class. And today's class, Mahatma and other 3 types of worshippers. Then demigod worship is minimized. Finally, we have seen what is Ananya Yoga, Ananya Bhakti Yoga. So this is the overview. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You can see a small child also can take to Krishna consciousness. So happy the child is. In today's session, if there are any questions, you can raise your hand and ask the questions. We already crossed the time. If somebody wants to leave, they can leave. This is question answer session. Anybody have any questions in today's session? Questions regarding today's session? They can raise their hand and ask the questions.